I am speaking to you now because your heart has not been abandoned, because your path has not been ignored, because even in the hours when you felt invisible, I was measuring each breath with purpose and compassion. Hear me and do not run away from this moment. I am closer to you than your fears. I am nearer than the memory of your last disappointment. I am wrapping this message around your life to bring light to what has been hidden, to uncover what has been moving behind curtains, to steady your steps where the ground has felt uncertain. You are not late for what I have prepared. You are not disqualified from what I have promised. You are not forgotten by the one who made you. This message is for you, and I am placing it in front of you because I have watched your endurance, I have seen your tears, and I have counted the ways you chose love even when love did not return immediately. I am not asking you to struggle for my attention. You already have it. I am not asking you to perform for my acceptance. You already dwell inside it. There has been a person who has circled your life like a moon around a quiet sea, bright enough to tug at your tides, distant enough to keep you guessing. They have been assessing you in small ways, and in ways that felt like coincidence. They delayed replies to see if your patience was steady. They asked for favors to see if your generosity was pure. They shared a piece of their pain to see if you were safe. They withheld pieces of their truth to see if you would pursue with kindness rather than accusation. They have been secretly testing you to see if you truly carry what you say you carry. They wanted to know if your light is an act or an anchor, if your loyalty is a mask or a mantle, if your words are a costume or a covenant. Do not be offended that they tested you. I allowed it for a season, not to punish you, but to reveal them and to refine you. What is authentic can be examined without breaking. What is woven by my hand will not unravel in the wind. You have been learning that your peace is a fortress, not a fragile vase, that your hope is a flame that prefers storms, because storms prove it cannot be smothered. I watched when they turned away at the moment you needed them most. I watched when you chose to bless instead of expose, to stay silent instead of strike back, to keep faith instead of keep score. That was not weakness, that was strength measured in heaven's scale. I saw you when you were tempted to harden your heart, and I saw you choose tenderness again, even though tenderness made you feel vulnerable. I will not waste any of these choices. Every kind seed you put in the ground is still alive, and I have not forgotten where you planted. Your harvest is not lost. Your harvest is timed. This person carries a story shaped by wounds they seldom mention. They fear betrayal the way some fear thunder, they brace for it with every kindness they receive. They believe that sudden goodness is a preface to sudden loss. They believe that quiet love is a disguise for louder harm. So they tested you the way a person tests a bridge that looks beautiful but might not hold weight. They placed small stones of doubt to see if your feet would slide. They offered light sarcasm to see if your spirit would close. They stepped back to see if you would chase them with pride or wait with wisdom. You did not know the score they were keeping, but I knew. I have been shaping both of you in the same classroom, though your desks face different windows. You have been learning trust from the side of patience, they have been learning trust from the side of surrender. You have been learning to stand without applause, they have been learning to love without armor. I am aligning your lessons now. Do not misread their tests as proof of your smallness. See them as mirrors that I turn to reflect your growth back to you. When they spoke in a tone that tried to push you away, you learned how to answer without begging. When they asked for help at an inconvenient hour, you learned how to serve without resentment. When they gave half-truths, you learned how to hear the unsaid without attacking what was said. All of this will be needed in the chapter that is unfolding. I am not delaying you, I am shaping your fit. What you carry and what they carry are not meant to clash, they are meant to complete. You have wondered why doors opened halfway and then stuck, why calls came with warmth and then cooled, why promises walked toward you and then paused at your boundary line as if seeking permission. You interpreted this as rejection. I interpret this as calibration. If the door had opened all at once, you would have entered without noticing the threshold that teaches honor. If the calls had stayed constant, you might have mistaken their voice for your source. If the promises had rushed in full, you might have clung to them more than to me. I am the one who steadies the door, who warms the voice, who keeps the promise. When I am first, everything else can be loved in order. I am not taking anything from you by taking my time, I am ensuring that what arrives will not be lost to haste, nor spoiled by fear, nor poisoned by the need to prove yourself. There is also another layer, people around you who pretend to understand your journey while secretly resenting your endurance. They watched you walk through nights that should have broken you. They watched you maintain honor instead of entertaining gossip. They watched you choose discipline instead of drama. They guessed it was an act because they cannot imagine strength without spectacle. Do not build a court case against them in your mind. I will deal with their whispering winds. I do not forget mischief, and I do not ignore malice. But I am also the God who can turn malice into marvel when a heart yields. Keep your hands clean while I handle what your hands cannot repair. This message is an instruction and a comfort. The instruction is this: guard your inner room. That is where I speak and where you remember. Do not let temporary attention trample permanent peace. Do not let sudden opportunity redraw your boundaries. Do not let the ache of delay drive you into counterfeits that promise quick reassurance. What I have ordained will not require you to shrink to be chosen. It will not demand that you dim to keep company. It will not require endless convincing to remain. It will recognize you like dawn recognizes horizon. It will meet you like water meets its riverbank. It will honor what I have placed in you, not harvest it for itself and leave the ground bare. The comfort is this: you have passed more of the tests than you realize. Your kindness was not naive, it was prophetic. Your patience was not passive, it was powerful. Your refusal to gossip was not weakness, it was worship. Now, about the one who has been testing you in secret, a revealing is coming, a gentle one. Not an explosion that burns trust, but a sunrise that shows color. Watch for small honesty first. A fuller answer to a question they used to dodge. A confession about why they vanish when closeness approaches. An apology that isn't dressed in humor. This is the sign that fear is loosening its grip around their throat. Do not rush to solve what belongs to healing. Do not rush to heal what belongs to choice. Provide a place of truth, not a prison of pressure. Offer your yes carefully, and offer your no kindly. Love does not trample pace, it respects the process that makes roots deep. I am repairing what fear did to both of you. Fear taught you to expect disappointment, I am teaching you to expect wisdom. Fear taught them to expect betrayal, I am teaching them to expect grace. I am building a union between honesty and hope in this chapter, and I am instructing you to become reliable to your own soul. Do not say yes when your spirit is saying wait. Do not say no when your spirit is saying grow. Listen to me, and you will not be misled by the noise of urgency around you. Listen to me, and you will not mistake flattery for favor. Listen to me, and you will know when to open your hand and when to close it gently. You have asked for signs, and I have given them. Repeated numbers in quiet moments, names that surface on days you chose surrender, songs that find you when you need strength, not as superstition, but as kindness woven through the fabric of your day. Yet the greatest sign I am giving you in this time is continuity. I will confirm through consistent actions what people attempt to promise with occasional words. Continuity has weight in heaven, it proves intention without shouting. Watch who keeps showing up. Watch who remembers what you shared without making you repeat pain as admission. Watch who chooses clarity over convenience. These are my fingerprints forming a pattern that will steady you. Release the urge to make announcements about your growth. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your strengthening. There are pieces of your joy that will be safer in silence until the roots are thick. There are ideas hatching that cannot survive the climate of certain rooms. Keep your counsel with me. Write what I tell you. Build what I show you. Walk the road I mark, and you will discover that some of what you tried to chase will meet you halfway because you decided to move in alignment, not anxiety. I am also speaking to the weariness behind your ribs. It has been heavy to do the right thing without witnesses. It has been lonely to be the strong one. I see you. Lay down the performance of being invincible. You are not required to be the endless well for everyone. Drink from me again. Let me quiet the noise that has been posing as urgency. Let me untie the knots of self-doubt that tighten whenever silence lingers. You do not have to earn tomorrow. You only need to walk today with me. I am the God of sequences, I am the God of suddenlies, and I know when to use each in your life. Today I am placing a sequence in front of you, small faithful steps that will unlock a larger gate. Take them, even if they look ordinary. Hidden in the ordinary obedience is the extraordinary reveal. Forgiveness remains your armor. Wear it deliberately. The enemy would prefer you to nurse old wounds until they become identity. That will not be your story. You will not turn bitterness into a badge. You will not trade your brightness for a reputation of cold strength. I am giving you the grace to release grievances that were never yours to carry. This is not the same as allowing cycles to repeat. Wisdom will stand at your door and ask for a declaration, and your answer will be yes to peace and no to manipulation. You will speak softly and stand firmly. You will protect what I entrusted to you without building a fortress around your tenderness. This is the balance that confuses those who thrive on chaos. This is the strength that attracts those who are ready for healing. Prepare a space in your days for stillness again. Not because stillness is glamorous, but because stillness is where you hear the difference between panic and prompting. In stillness, you will sense when to pick up the call that changes a season. In stillness, you will sense when to decline an invitation that would drain your focus. In stillness, you will sense when to answer with 5 words that end an old pattern. I am not withholding clarity. I am training your ears to recognize my tone quickly. I will also restore laughter to you. Not the laughter that hides pain, but the laughter that springs from relief. Relief will come in conversations that used to be landmines. Relief will come when delayed answers arrive without you chasing them. Relief will come when you realize you did not lose years, you gained roots. The plan you thought died is not dead, it is maturing. The dream you thought you buried is not buried, it is planted. The relationships you thought you ruined are not ruined, they are being re-architected in truth. I redeem time by redeeming hearts, and I am at work in both. Expect honor to find you in rooms where you were once overlooked. Expect your name to be protected by mouths that used to question you. Expect resources to arrive in the form of wise partnerships, not just sudden windfalls. Expect apologies that are not perfect but are sincere. Expect clarity in the very place confusion held court. This is not fantasy, this is alignment. I do not ask you to pretend the journey was easy. I ask you to admit that the journey did not break you and will not define you by its hardest day. To the one who tested you, they will see that your love does not evaporate under scrutiny. To you, you will see that their caution is not cruelty but a language they learned in survival. Translate it with patience, and teach yours with consistency. If the connection is ordained, it will stand in the light with joy, not secrecy with pressure. If it is not, I will cut the cords gently yet completely, and I will lead you into a bond that honors your growth and mirrors your integrity. In either case, you will not end empty-handed. You will end established. I am closing doors that keep you in cycles of almost. I am opening doors that usher you into the land of completion. I am shifting your environment to match the magnitude I placed in you. Some patterns will protest as they die, some comforts will complain as they release their hold. Bless them and move forward. Destiny does not apologize for arriving. It simply knocks and waits for your agreement. Give it. Say with your actions what your heart has been whispering to me in the dark. Choose what honors me and honors the you I designed. Your name is safe with me. Your future is safe with me. Your process is safe with me. Do not measure yourself by the speed of others. You are not late. You are right on time to the clock I set before you were born. I am the author who writes with mercy, the builder who designs with wisdom, the father who protects with gentleness. Where you were tested, you are now trusted. Where you were questioned, you will be commissioned. Where you were delayed, you will be delivered into acceleration that does not whiplash, only advances. Keep clean hands and a courageous heart. Keep your yes for what is true and your no for what is false. Keep your gaze steady and your steps humble. I will not let you fall through the cracks of your calling. I am the floor beneath your faith and the ceiling above your courage. This message is set like a seal over this hour for you. Receive it and walk in it. The hidden things are becoming clear. The tests are becoming testimonies. The watchers are becoming witnesses. The ache is becoming oil. The waiting is becoming wisdom. And you, beloved, are becoming who I always said you were. Do not try to skip this. Let it mark you. Let it move you. Let it steady you. I am with you, and I am not leaving. I am speaking to you now because you have asked for a word that cannot be ignored, a living breath placed into your chest at this very moment, a message that follows you like a shadow until you understand why it arrived. Don't try to skip this. You have been walking with questions that you hide even from yourself, and yet I have watched every step, every sigh you thought was small, every glance away from the mirror when you didn't want to face the truth that something was off in your circle. Hear me, there is a person near you who has been secretly testing you to see if your heart is true, if your patience is genuine, if your kindness is durable when it is not being praised, and if your vision still burns when the room tries to dim it. Do not fear this revelation. Take it as a light switching on in a hallway you walk through every day without noticing the doors. I am opening one of those doors now. They smiled at your progress while keeping a tally of your weaknesses. They asked for the story behind your dream not as a friend, but as an examiner. They pressed on your patience with delays, crossed small boundaries, made careless statements dressed as humor, and then watched for your reaction as if grading an unseen test. I saw the moment they put a pebble in your shoe just to see whether you would stop and complain or keep walking with quiet resolve. I saw how they studied your generosity. Do you give for attention, or because giving is your nature? I saw how they questioned you with compliments that curved around your confidence like a vine, sometimes soft, sometimes tight, listening not for your words but the tone beneath them. Were you bitter, proud, wounded, jealous, fearful? And you passed more of those questions than you realize, but you also exposed a few places where your heart still needs my touch. This is not to shame you, this is to heal you. When I permit someone to test you, I have already measured both your strength and the weight of the test. I never allow a trial to outgrow the grace I have prepared for it. You wondered why their presence felt like warmth on some mornings and cold wind on others. You wondered why small promises kept thinning into excuses, why celebrations came with subtle jabs, why private conversations with them left you stirred up instead of settled. This is why they were not simply walking beside you, they were measuring you. Not because they are evil beyond redemption, but because they are unsure of themselves and afraid to be fooled by appearances. Their fear dressed itself in investigation. Do not retaliate, and don't let bitterness bloom. Bitterness is a seed that steals your sunlight while pretending to offer shade. Refuse it. Listen carefully. I am turning their test into your testimony. They tried to study your motives, and I am about to purify your motives until even you are surprised at how clean your yes becomes. They tried to push your patience, and I am stretching your patience into a strength that will not snap. They tried to entangle you in small arguments to see if your peace could be punctured, and I am sealing your peace with a stronger seal so that your joy does not leak when life is squeezed. They tried to see whether you would betray yourself for an applause, and I am teaching you to move by conscience and calling, not by clapping hands or silent rooms. What they meant as a private exam will become a public elevation, not because you will humiliate them, but because you will outgrow the need to prove yourself. You asked me, why do I feel like I'm always on trial? Because you were learning to love without a courtroom. Love becomes freedom when it no longer requires a jury. I am inviting you into that freedom. You do not need to twist yourself into the shape of their expectations. You do not need to defend every delay or explain every decision. You need only to walk the straight line of what I have placed inside you and let the fruit speak when the season arrives. Fruit silences arguments. Fruit does not debate, it demonstrates. You have fruit coming, fresh, undeniable, fragrant with purpose. Don't try to skip this moment just because it is uncomfortable. Breakthroughs often arrive wrapped in discomfort the same way seeds arrive wrapped in soil. Now listen about the person specifically. They do care for you, but their care is tangled with curiosity and control. They love outcomes more than people when they are scared, and that fear has been speaking too loudly. They tested you to see if you are safe to trust with their secrets, their dreams, their status, their fragile sense of being enough. They wanted to know whether your loyalty survives silence, whether your integrity survives pressure, whether your faith remains tender in private when applause is absent. Somewhere along the way, they learned to believe that trust must be earned through examinations, not given through grace. Their approach wounded you, but it also revealed something beautiful. You chose compassion more times than you chose retaliation. You held your tongue when you could have exposed them. You stepped back when you could have stepped on them. I saw that. I remember everything you restrained, and I count self-control as a victory louder than any speech. Here is what I am doing next. I am drawing a boundary line you will feel in your spirit like a gentle, unmovable riverbank. It will keep your heart from flooding into places it does not belong. You will be able to be kind without becoming captured, generous without becoming drained, honest without becoming harsh, humble without becoming invisible. I am giving you language for your limits, and I am giving you kindness that does not cancel those limits to avoid conflict. You will say, no, and it will sound like love because it will be love, love for your calling, love for your time, love for the assignment I gave you. Do not apologize for the space you need to become who I said you are. I am also bringing clarity in their heart. They will realize that testing you did not protect them, it sabotaged the very safety they were seeking. They will remember moments when you were gentle, and that memory will convict them more effectively than any argument. They will come forward with partial honesty first, and then with fuller honesty later. When they speak, listen with peace, not with suspicion. You are not required to fix them. You are invited to forgive them. Forgiveness is not permission for the pattern to continue. Forgiveness is your declaration that the pattern will not own your mind or dictate your joy. Say this in your heart now: I release what I cannot control. I guard what you have entrusted to me. I move with wisdom and warmth. As you do, you will feel the weight slide from your shoulders like a coat that never fit. I have seen the quiet battles you fight at night. I have seen you press your hand to your own chest and whisper, "Stay calm, we're okay," when anxiety knocks. I have seen you choose silence to prevent a storm, and I have also seen you swallow words you should have spoken. The next chapter asks for your voice, not the angry echo of old wounds, but the steady sound of someone who knows where they're going. Your voice will not shake when you state what you need. Your voice will not splinter when you share what you believe. I am also strengthening your discernment so that you do not confuse a flattering mirror for a faithful friend. Flattery makes you feel tall in rooms that are actually small. Faithful friendship makes you stand true in rooms of any size. The test you endured has done something crucial. It separated what was merely urgent from what is truly important. The urgent demanded instant responses to prove your worth. The important invited deliberate choices to protect your destiny. Choose the important. Choose the slow yes that lasts over the fast yes that fades. Choose work that aligns with your calling instead of tasks that merely silence someone else's anxiety. Choose peace that is built from truth rather than peace that is rented from pretending. I am with you in these choices. I will not leave you to negotiate your future with the voice of fear.